Okay, here we are. Good day to all of you. My name is Jukka Kantola and I'm the founder of the World Bioeconomy Forum. You are all warmly welcome to this World Bioeconomy Roundtable. Like in earlier occasions, we are having followers on all over the world. It's our great pleasure to offer you this program today. So thanks to you all to joining us in today. Today, we are focusing on our fourth pillar in our principles, namely look into the future. And more specifically, on what does the bioeconomy mean for Brazil and the Amazon. As always, we are having these roundtables online. I'm your host today, together with my colleague, Mark Ruston. I'm in Finland and Mark is in UK. How are you today, Mark? Can you hear us?
I can hear you very well, Jukka, and nice to see you and everybody a warm welcome. It's great to be here once again, co-hosting the roundtables. These roundtables have become more and more important to the World Bioeconomy Forum as we've been going forward. So today we're going to be hearing about a discussion looking to the future, which is about the Amazon and focusing squarely on the bioeconomy in the Amazon. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be an excellent appetizer to our forum, which will be held in October.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I just visited the Brazil and Belém, and I can assure you that the Belém is ready for the Forum 2021. I'm even more convinced that the Belém is the capital of the bioeconomy of 2021. It's just amazing that the city of its own history, culture, nature, cuisine, and of course on its ambitious on bioeconomy. I visited several venues and other locations where we are having this forum, and it should just look perfect. The arrangements have been taken care of very, very professionally. The forum itself will start on the 17th of October by the evening reception in the marvelous location called La Paz Teatro. What a historical place. You just cannot miss that. During the forum, we will have certainly some impressive news from the state of the Bara, which will pave the way, I would claim, to the bioeconomy in Brazil and entire Latin America. I was told during my trip by the ambassador Everton Vargas that the bioeconomy won't be the same in Brazil or in Latin America after this forum. I'm inclined to think the very, very same way. The state of the Bara is very committed to the forum, and we will enjoy their great hospitality. So big thanks belongs to Governor Herder Balhajo and Secretary Mauro Ole Almeida, who is, by the way, together with us and moderating this panel, what we will hear soon. And their teams that they have done an excellent job by ensuring the first class and on the other hand safe forum to all of us. I must say also that it was safe to get in there and safe to be in there. So I have a stance that if you can behave and if you can be disciplined at home, you can be also disciplined abroad. And that's the case also in Brazil. So if you are vaccinated, if you are respecting the local rules, wearing the mask, keeping the social distance, washing your hands, you are able gradually getting back to new normal. Also, it is not that much in the publicity that the vaccination rates are getting up in Brazil. Actually, today's situation is as such that if you have a look at global vaccination rates, that the Brazil are on the level like in Germany or like in US. And the difference is that actually the Brazilians are very pro on vaccines, so not necessary. That is not necessarily the case everywhere, at least in the Western world. But nevertheless, things are progressing well and things are going in the right direction. Certainly, you make your own choice that whether you are able to come there. So that and certainly we are giving the respect that the old company and your personal interest that how to get in there. So, but you shouldn't be any worry that in case you are getting there. but you should be either worried that in case that that you are following us through our online arrangement, so you don't miss anything, whether you are be there in place or whether you are following us through this online access. So again, we will provide you hard talk, meaning the content of the World Bioeconomy Forum, with the relaxed environment and with the easy access. So already today you can register yourself online and ensure that you will get that the program from Belém. But what else we can then expect? Mark, can you guide us a bit through what do we expect from Belém?
Yeah, we have an excellent program planned for Belém. This is the World Bioeconomy Forum. However, this is going to have a very much a Brazilian style and taste and flavor. We even have our own design, logo designed for the Paris state, which is clearly represents some of the fantastic work actually they're already doing in the bioeconomy. I want to let everybody know that there is a fantastic library that the World Bioeconomy has already on this event. If you just visit our website, you can see a lot of videos that we've done, a lot of interviews we've done with the head of the sessions, so you can really get an idea of the content that we're going to be talking about down in Belém. Already commentators are saying, as Jukka has just said, that the bioeconomy in Latin America and Brazil will not be the same after this event because there's going to be so much interesting dialogue going on. In fact, this is going to be a bioeconomy carnival Brazilian style.
Yeah, sounds really exciting. Very appealing. Maybe a few words also about new services we have introduced since our last roundtable in May. Could you, Mark, explain a bit?
Yeah. Since we founded sort of 4 years ago, we're growing. We're growing as fast as the bioeconomy is growing around the world. We have become this leading platform. So one of the latest developments that we have is a breaking news app, and I have to say that my alerts go off 5-6 times every day because there's a lot of work going on in the world bioeconomy across the globe. So that's a really good thing. All you do is go to the website, go to any of your web stores, and there it is. You just download it, and then you have access to all the breaking news in the bioeconomy around the world. And those stories are cleverly arranged in our 4-pillar structure, which you're going to hear about. So if you're interested in politics, you're going to get politics. You can read about politics, go straight to it. If you want to read about bioproducts, if you want to read about education, which is becoming more and more important, you can go there. We also have the World Bioeconomy Circle, which is an exclusive networking club for World Bioeconomy stakeholders. And something also that went down really well this year was that we had a bioeconomy day, a bioproduct day, basically where we're encouraging people to use products from renewable materials, and that was very well received. So every year around about July we will be having a bioproduct day across the globe. We've always got something on the go here, Jukka, always.
Yeah, indeed. Sounds like we are evolving all the time, so hopefully you all find these useful in your own everyday use. But let's get focused on today's agenda, what we can provide to you all listeners. So as always, our program consists on 4 pillars, which are namely the bioeconomy, people, planet, policies, global leaders, and financial world. Thirdly, bioproduct around us, and fourthly, look into the future. These are the cornerstones in our own activities. And by these pillars, we are communicating with various stakeholders with their own tone. And on the other hand, this is the way how do we evaluate the status of the bioeconomy, as we have done for this forum as well. So like in the case sustainability, there are 3 pillars. But in the bioeconomy, we think that, in order to have a evaluation, you need to have these all 4 pillars in place. Today, specifically, we are focusing on this look into the future, and more particular, we are having a look at, what does the bioeconomy mean for Brazil and the Amazon? We would like to hear in today's presentation that, what do the Brazilian stakeholders think about the concept of the bioeconomy on their region? Mark, maybe you can introduce that, okay, the moderator and okay, the speakers, and how do we run this all? Please.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are absolutely delighted as we have an excellent roundtable lined up for you today. We are delighted to welcome our panelists and moderator Jose Mauro de Lima o del Almeida, Secretary of State for Environment, State of Para, Brazil. Welcome. We would like to make this event as interactive as possible, so please make sure you share your comments and ask your questions using the chat screen. It's quite easy to find on here. And so without any further ado, as we say in England, I would like to introduce Secretary of State Mauro, who will be introducing the panelists and moderating this high-level discussion. So welcome, Mauro.
Thank you, Mark and Yuka. So good to see you again. It is a great pleasure to be here today, to be part of this roundtable that concludes the roundtables in preparation for the World Bioeconomy Forum in the month of October in the city of Belém. As I've said, it is a great pleasure for the state of Pará to be hosting the forum and also today to be hosting our guests. I'm going to mention their names now. Anna Euler, representing Embrapa. Camille Bemergui, Director of Bioeconomy, Climate Change, and Environmental Services at the Environment Secretariat of Pará. Francisco Pianco, indigenous leader of Apiwicha ethnicity, and Ana Toni, executive director of Clima and Sociedade Institute. Our major economy is to overcome an economic model that was historically imposed from outside in, that made our region function as simply a warehouse of raw materials, supplying raw materials, and without, in exchange, giving us the role of protagonists in the compensation of the environmental situation of today. The Amazon and the state of Pará suffer with this. Pará is historically a state with a surplus, economic surplus. We contribute positively with the country's foreign trade. However, here we have 8 of the 22 municipalities in the country with the lowest index of human development. Large share of the population below the poverty line, meaning that for us to reverse this historic process, the environmental topic will need to focus attention to the 26 million people who live in the Amazon, 9 million of those in the state of Pará. We want to build the way to a sustainable future. We must bear in mind that human development must be connected to environmental development and sustainability. In 2020, we reached a milestone that is our environmental law that placed us in the center of the environmental discussions. Now the plan Amazon Now follows the principles that we must generate opportunities for the population. This plan is the commitment of our state with low carbon economic development, shifting the paradigm that is promoting sustainable development as a contribution for everyone to meet the very ambitious environmental goals. We want to build a local strategy that still has to build a fund of resources to make it feasible. Low carbon social development also encourage supply chains based on biodiversity and an economy with the forest living and standing. Amazon now is 1 year old. The major four pillars are now showing good results. The program Sustainable Territory in the region of PA 279 has issued 400 land deeds involving lots of professionals. Local registrations were validated, local producers were registered. The program Amazon Now is now developing in Araguaia and Xingu regions. We focused on registering riverside dwellers, local producers. And in 2021, our state has analyzed hundreds of these registrations, and we're going to improve that. We are supporting the local governments that are analyzing that as well. This is very important for the development of our state. So, Living Amazon, this effort that is on its 16th edition, has preserved thousands of square meters and seized thousands of cubic meters of illegal lumber, illegal mining areas as well. We are focusing on the future. Some of our goals are until the year of 2036, and we must be able to support continuous results. This is why the FAO, this very innovative fund, has concluded this very important step this week. We have selected the entity in charge of management, and FOMBio is the institution that is internationally recognized that has been selected. The first resource allocation that came from donations are now in the last phase of negotiations. So the fund in the year of 2021 will have the necessary conditions to start operating and generating opportunities for people. The state of Pará aims for development with an economy strategy that's based on solutions from the nature and also the Amazon Now plan. We believe in the transformative force of bioeconomy, and we believe it will be able to sustain that for the long term. But we must say that we always have to have in mind that the forest that is living must be more valuable than a forest that has been brought down. So now I will call our colleague Anna Euler, forest engineer with Embrapa, Brazilian Institute of Agricultural Research. You have the floor, Ms. Anna Euler. I believe she is having some technical difficulty, so I will now call our Director of Bioeconomy, Climate Change, and Environmental Services of the Environment and Sustainability Secretariat of Pará, Camille Bendahan Bamergui. You have the floor, Camille. Good morning, everyone. My name is Camille Bamergui, and I am responsible for bioeconomy in the state of Pará. I am truly honored to be part of this roundtable that wraps up 4 months of discussions preparing the World Bioeconomy Forum, and that turns the city of Belém as the focus of discussions of bioeconomy in the world. I am an economist. I have experience in public policies and socioeconomic development, and that allows me to have a more holistic understanding of local issues. And that also allows me to have a broader view beyond social economic development agenda, something that is able to solve problems such as those that the state of Pará and the Amazon have. My background also allows me to understand bioeconomy as one of the possible ways for socioeconomic development, but that is able to reconcile that with social and human development. So the first thing I would like to say is that when we say bioeconomy as a means to shift the paradigm of development, bringing alternatives that are based on a model that believes that the forest that is living is more valuable. It is important to say that there's not only one concept for bioeconomy, but there's also not only one Amazon. There's many Amazons, each with its own specific characteristics, ethnic, cultural, social, politic, geographic. When we have to discuss what the bioeconomy we want for the Amazon and specifically for the state of Pará. So today, what are the questions that we're trying to answer? What are the challenges? What are the limits for the state government? How to plan a model of economic knowledge considering all the challenges and also what has already been developed? How to leave this vicious circle and leading to something that addresses, that brings solution to 9 million people while keeping. We know that a lot has been said today about economy. Lots of eyes are turned towards the Amazon now, considering what the possibilities for the future are. But we must be careful so that we don't make the same mistakes to receive a lot from the outside. Here in our state, we ask ourselves, what is the bioeconomy that we want? Secretary Mauro has said that Pará is the second largest state in Brazil. We are responsible for about 40% of Amazon deforestation, also for 11% of fires, according to more recent data, and the biggest carbon emissions in Brazil, almost 19%. We have about 9 million people and human development index of 0.76 when the national average is way higher than that. We have very strong cultural diversity, lots of different ethnicities, and the second largest quilombola population in Brazil, the slave descendants. We have environmental, social challenges, and for the state of Pará to be able to handle all these challenges, has to plan its model of socioeconomic development based on the state's strategy of bioeconomy. The principles are nature-based solutions anchored in our state policy of climate change and the plan Amazon Now. That is the commitment of the state of Pará with development that is low carbon, that entails a possibility of shifting the paradigm and also sustainable promotion so as to achieve the very ambitious climate goals that we have. So why have we considered associating a bioeconomy strategy with nature-based solutions? Because 97% of our emissions come from the rural world, deforestation or the use of the land. So we needed a plan to include that and the model of food production in our state. Also bearing in mind social development requirements and the needs of those who live here. We need political will, political strategy, and that is present in the state policy and also in the Amazon Now plan that set the tone for the strategy. What we aim to develop are some of the tactical and operational elements that demand strategies for us to reach the goals of both the policy and the plan. We, at the Environment and Sustainability Secretariat, we are part of this interinstitutional program of the state of Pará that has started this co-creation program that we call the economy that we want, that is going to conceive the first bioeconomy strategy in the country. We want to reconcile the points of view, the mindsets of several stakeholders, and draft a way that is possible and that is included in the state plan. First of all, the state strategy of bioeconomy is based on the principle that we are the ones who know the most about the Amazon and about Pará. We must be heard. We want inclusion, we want protagonism so as to respond to the issues that are impacting us especially. And when I say we, I mean the state of Pará, but also the whole Amazon. That is present in our strategy. And it is important to highlight that the strategy is based on two basic principles. One is what I've mentioned, nature-based solutions. And second, traditional knowledge must be incorporated and valued, and it is in our proposal. So this strategy includes short, mid, and long-term views as guidelines for our goals and results. How can I reach strategies in the short and long term based on this mindset? We have involved other state institutions and also research institutions, and so we have drafted a conceptual and technical document that we call Bioeconomy State Strategy. And next, we're going to draft the state plan. That will also require some debates, some dialogue in view of the magnitude of how important it is to have economic development that is feasible and that protects genetic heritage. And from then on, we will prepare the state plan that will be a development and that ensures the safety of the genetic heritage and traditional knowledge, and also guarantee of life for the Amazon population. This is a decisive decade. Our choices can still make a difference in the future. There is still time to halt global warming, but the change must happen now. The pandemic showed in practical terms what a global crisis is. Climate crisis seems to be even longer and more serious. We therefore must invest in a low carbon society that has bioeconomy as one of the anchors for solutions. This seems to be the way towards sustainable development that is inclusive and environmentally safe. But what we're designing is not a silver bullet. It is a way to rescue the past, our ancestrality, but focusing on the future with hope, building public policies to catalyze this new agenda of economic and social development. We want to bring benefits for the state. We want that to be source of income and social transformation for those who are local. It's a huge challenge, but the state is willing to embrace those challenges. Thank you very much. Thank you, Camille. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for participating and for sharing how the state, for giving more details about what I said in my opening remarks, what the state's been doing in pursuit of low carbon emission. I would like to take the opportunity now to thank our other secretaries. We can't do anything alone. We need cooperation within the government and also outside the government. And this is what we aim to be doing here with this roundtable. Agricultural Secretariat, Mining, Energy Secretariat, the Land Institute, the Rural Technical Assistant State Agency, everyone who's involved with us, every law enforcement agency, the Forest Development and Biodiversity Institute, everyone who is involved in the state force to fight deforestation. But now, moving on, I would like to call Francisco Pianco, leader of Piwicha ethnicity. Welcome, welcome, Francisco. First, I would like to thank for the invitation. There are important lessons to learn from this. I would like to greet Mr. Secretary of State of Pará. His approach is very well in line with what I think and what I stand for. I'm here in the state of Acre with very important history of our fights to preserve our values, the biodiversity, and protecting the forest. The size that it is with all its biodiversity. I will try to add a few things because I don't want to be repetitive. I fully agree with the project of the state of Pará, this project that the state is carrying out. And I think we, Amazon peoples, Amazon dwellers, we have a chance now to find some balance in the dialogue. Balance between what the forest gives us, the forest's ability to offer, to provide, to exchange with the planet. To give what exists here and to bring it to the market. I believe we should try to understand some of the rationale what our demands are, and we should also try to understand the the reasons of those who are outside. So you are on the right track with your program. I'm sure there will be lots of challenges, but once you start right, it's it's easier. It's easier than trying to fix something that didn't start right. The challenges that we can see, we can perceive, in a way, they drive us because we see ourselves better. The concept of development. If you are concerned, if the world is concerned, I believe we should see things as an exchange relationship, because if we try to find solutions and always focused on a capitalist rationale, if you start to think of income as something coming from outside, it is a process that is very challenging. But if we start in our home with the ability that we have to know ourselves better and to know the Amazon better, we will be able to show the values, and to do that through products, a, a line of products of bioeconomy. We believe that a product from bioeconomy has also to convey a message, has to speak to the adversity, has to be a product with a legacy value, or else it is pointless to focus on a project if that is not the way, because we will be losing. We cannot allow to be controlled and to be determined by external interests. We must dialogue as equals. Here in the Amazon, we have products that are not available in other parts of the world. These are products that other regions want, other regions need, products that are ours. And we have from the starting point to be with this stature in the debate. We have to make use of technology, invest in science, work on the dialogue with traditional communities. What is the concept of development? What are the needs? Because some of what we see today in terms of poverty levels, sometimes because of this, you you just can't see other assets, true wealth that is around. The people of the forest, sometimes there's a report that says there's no drinking water, for example. And it says there's no schools. And I say that from personal experience. Communities are described as very poor because those are the eyes of outsiders that labeled a community as such. So this is time for us to start new, to start fresh, and hoping that values, life values, and principles will make it possible for our products to be placed in the market without a middleman. We have to be part of the dialogue. We are aware of technology, for example. Our forests are being burnt, biodiversity is being destroyed, wealth disappearing in the name of uh, a development, a progress that meets the needs of others, not ours. So I would like to congratulate the state of Pará. The state of Pará is speaking our language. We wish all other states were in line with this proposal. We can see that there's lots of outsiders who are just trying to find a way to legitimize the use of our resources, unaware of the fact that this will destroy our diversity in terms of knowledge and peoples. I don't want to repeat myself, but that is the way to go. We have to work hard so that society, be it urban or the forest peoples, indigenous and non-indigenous, we have to work so that they can see themselves in these products, in this economy, so that they are part of the dialogue and they participate in negotiations. This is very serious and hard work. The program should create the conditions for this society to be preserved in such a complex process. But that's the way to go. This is how we are going to find another. This is how we can avoid a development that process that does not think of the mid and long term as well. So I'm very happy to be part of this roundtable, to be discussing this context, and to know that there is a chance to do something different, something new. There's a huge market abroad, outside, and if things are done on these terms, um, it will be positive. Thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you, Francisco. I'm very grateful for your participation and for bringing the perspective of our brothers and sisters, indigenous peoples. As a moderator of the roundtable, I would like to say that I embrace your comments. And here in the state of Pará, we work to strengthen the participation of indigenous peoples, traditional populations. We have panels, and in the indigenous peoples all have seats. We have the Council of Indigenous Policies that also includes the dialogue of communities. But it is important to say that the world population, just like Brazilian population, it is urban with everything that it entails. And recently, there was a study carried out that concluded that 60% of those who live in the Amazon do not know the Amazon forest. That has to do with the structure of how the Amazon was occupied. And that has consequences. We, as government, we should encourage dialogue. I believe there's three pillars: food, health, and medicine, right? And cosmetics. That is the core of this industry that has developed in the world and that can offer so many opportunities for the peoples of the forest to leverage themselves with low carbon economy, as we've said. And this is why I am so grateful for your comments. And we are looking forward to having you with us in October so that we can debate bioeconomy even further. Now, I will call the executive director of Clima and Society Institute, Ms. Anna Toni. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be in this roundtable. You have the floor. Thank you, Mauro. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be participating. Thank you very much for the invitation. And also, I would like to thank the World Bioeconomy Forum for the excellent choice of hosting the next conference in October in the city of Belém. It is one of the most beautiful cities in Brazil, and it is in the heart of the Amazon, in the heart of the world biodiversity. As it's been said, I'm not sure if Yuka or Mark, Brazil has a lot to gain from having the forum here in Brazil. The Amazon has a lot to benefit from that, and the forum as well, for being courageous to come all the way to the Amazon and to understanding everything so well as it's been mentioned. Understand the perspective of the local economy. So I strongly believe this will be an amazing forum. I attended the UN summit in Rio in 1992 and the climate convention, and that's where it started, and that was key for Brazil to embrace sustainability and environmental issues. And I am confident that the World Bioeconomy Forum in Belém will have the same effect for the forum, for Brazil, for the Amazon. I am thrilled that the forum will be in Belém. Unfortunately, I am not from the Amazon. But, well, I'm from Sao Paulo. I am now in Rio. And just like the Secretary Mauro said, and by the way, I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate the amazing work he's been carrying out in the in that department he is in charge of, always bringing real solutions in with eyes to what really matters and to the true impacts they have. So we have to speak in real terms. In the past, the world knew Brazil because of carnival, soccer, samba, but now, for better or worse, Brazil is globally known because of the Amazon. And hosting this forum in the Amazon is precisely considering this external perspective, having a chance to show them so that they know what the Amazon is. This immense region, so diverse with all its wealth. So the outside perspective, outside of Brazil, perspective over the Amazon is different from that we Brazilians have. And those who live in the Amazon have their own way of conceptualizing everything. I think that I agree that Amazon, for many years, centuries maybe, the Amazon was seen as a warehouse for resources, assets, supplies, or like a myth. And for one or the other, this warehouse of endless resources or the romantic myth, both perspectives are always pursuing a silver bullet to solve, quote unquote, the problems of the Amazon. And I know that we always have to learn from the locals. We have to embrace its diversity and respect its cultural and its ethnical diversity. That's the first thing I would like to say to the forum. Do not be afraid to embrace all of that. We feel confident, we feel safe when we place everything in small boxes, but to deal with the Amazon, first and foremost, we have to accept its diversity, understand, so that we can have a positive contribution to any process. Before addressing bioeconomy itself, I'd like to say that we have recently carried out a survey, and the results, I believe, were amazing. 89% of Brazilian people, 89% of Brazilian population, not only Amazon population. So 89% believe that the Amazon is the number one asset of Brazil. 71% of Brazilian people say that the development of the whole country depends on the preservation of the Amazon and on the social sustainability of those who live in the Amazon. 79% say that protecting the forest is key. So this opinion of Brazilians who will, I'm sure, participate in the forum, that is very important because I believe in the past 3 or 4 years, Brazil, and by Brazil I mean Brazil other than the Amazon. Um, so those in the south, southeast, we know so little about the Amazon. Mauro was sharing some data of the urban populations of the Amazon who don't know the forest. Can you imagine then those who live in the south or in the southeast Brazil? So the Brazilian people do not know the Amazon and should also learn to value this complexity. In recent years, the debate about the Amazon in Brazil has changed, I believe so, and has been trying to embrace this complexity. And in the middle of this debate is bioeconomy that is absolutely key. Bioeconomy is one of the several solutions that we believe the Amazon will have to embrace. Again, there's no silver bullet, but it is definitely one of the important solutions for the socioeconomic development of the Amazon. We have mentioned here um, um, drugs from the Amazon that can be developed, and cosmetics and foods. Yes, that's true, but keeping in mind that we know very little about the Amazon, very little about the forest, about the biodiversity. We know very little. The recent data uh, is that less than 6% of the biodiversity in the Amazon is known by the scientists. So there is a lot to learn. There's a lot before we are able to understand the potential of the Amazon. But as Francisco was saying, lots already know, not only the riverside dwellers or the quilombolas, the slave descendant communities. No, there's those, all of those who live there and that know so much more. And this is why it is so important that it is all very inclusive. For bioeconomy to be a good solution for the Amazon, again, we have to know and embrace the complexity of the Amazon. Number two, listen and learn from the Amazon peoples. And then invest in education and science and technology. That will be absolutely key for bioeconomy not to be a problem. I know that my time is almost over, but I would just like to mention a couple of challenges because solutions bring lots of challenges. One of the challenges is that the bioeconomy be seen like a silver bullet. It is not. Number two, those who try to work and bring bioeconomy do not respect or do not acknowledge the diversity and complexity of the local peoples, the Amazon peoples. Bioeconomy should be able to, should not, should not reproduce those historical models of seeing the Amazon as an endless warehouse of resources. The challenges are before us. We have to address them. Scale is also a very important topic. All this traditional knowledge, how do we bring it to the discussion? It takes time, and we know the market doesn't really like to wait. And so, how fast can we go without without allowing it to be just a repetition of the historical model that we always fought against. This must be something that respects local knowledge. I'm very excited to be part of the debate. Thank you very much, Mauro. Thank you, Anna Tony. It is so good to hear your input and your insights. I fully agree that the bioeconomy is not a silver bullet. We are confident that because of the industrialization level that the world has achieved, everyone is trying to go back to the origins, organic foods, real foods, medications and that are more traditional. So I believe we have a chance to make to turn the forest into an asset while living and standing, and also using these inputs to make the forest economically sustainable. We want to be the forum for discussion so that we can determine what is the bioeconomy that we want. We want to avoid again that approach that comes from the outside to inside. The pan Amazon that includes the Colombian, the Peruvian, etc. Amazon. We all discussing what is it that we truly want. Now I'm going to call the one who should have been the first speaker, Anna Euler, our colleague from Embrapa, the Agricultural Research Government Agency. Good morning, Secretary Mauro. Good morning, everyone who's watching us in the Amazon and worldwide. I am here in the far north of the Amazon, in the state of Amapá, on the border of Europe, because it's almost French Guiana. And our connection is right now my main challenge to keep my internet connection for the next 10 minutes. And it is important because this represents well one of the major challenges of the Amazon, that is infrastructure that allows us to connect to the world, to speak and send our message to the world, sharing some of our expectations, the development model that we want, and the bioeconomy model that we will be discussing in this first World Bioeconomy Forum that will happen in the Amazon, giving us this unique opportunity to unify and integrate and Chief Francisco Piyaki is on the opposite side of the Amazon in the far west. I'm here in the far north, and the internet is allowing us to be here together, yet so far away. I would also like to greet Camille Bamergui, who sent me the invitation, and also Anna Tony. I would like to say that I've been in the Amazon for 20 years working for this ideal of economic sustainable development, pursuing an alternative in an economic development model that includes the local peoples and the rivers flowing. I believe, and I want to believe, that this moment now is so special because there's a convergence of eyes that is bringing closer together the private sector, the governments, the society as a whole, I would say, not only the Brazilian society. Everyone around this collective effort to fight climate change, to limit global warming, and we all looking at the Amazon as a common asset that is in the center of solutions that go beyond preservation, that is preservation, just like Secretary Mauro said, preservation that is a project of human development, development of dignity and citizenship in this forest that is the most biodiverse in the world, with the largest freshwater reserve in the world. This is such a biome that at the same time faces huge economic challenges. So there are several Amazons within the Amazon. This is why it's not easy to discuss bioeconomy, because the Amazon is so complex and so diverse. It's been said that we have an urban Amazon with over 20 million people. We have what we call the deep Amazon, the Amazon of the land of traditional indigenous peoples that is so knowledgeable about the forest and its assets, and whose knowledge must be respected. There's the Amazon of migrant populations, small rural producers, family producers, trying to find a way to prosper. Trying to find a balance between the use of the land and cattle raising, energy production complexes, mining projects. We have to work on building the dialogue between all these players and designing strategies and policies that can foster the role of all these different Amazons within Amazon. About Embrapa, it is a company of agricultural research that has been in the Amazon for decades, and that has research facilities in every Amazon state. Our number one asset is our network of researchers, and also the network of partners that we have in the Amazon, that we have built in the Amazon in over 40 years. This helps us have a plan that is focused on present demands, but also the long-term development of research as well. For this to be possible, we face lots of challenges every day, and we must overcome lots of structural problems for research. Number one, very high logistic costs, the absence of infrastructure in several regions, the need for licenses to do our work here, and investment, public or private, in the technological solutions that aim at the forest and its assets as a means for social and economic development. I would also like to highlight the conditions for the assets and the research that already exists reach the people today, especially the rural population. Today, the education level is really very low, and they need public technical assistance. These are key issues of today. Some of our many challenges in terms of innovation, one is adding value to the products, bio input and bioactives for the bioeconomy industry, traceability, profitability of the forest management systems. A major challenge is to increase scale of productivity and logistics for all these products. Also, the recovery of pasture lands, degraded lands, for the development of intensified systems. This will all help the decision making in terms of the use of natural resources and the land. But back to the key issue of the panel today. What is a bioeconomy for Brazil and for the Amazon more specifically? I summarize that in 3 points. Number one, social inclusion, like Secretary Motto has said. Solutions that are based on nature, but also on people. And in this sense, it is important to invest in humanities also, and reinforcing the social basis, because all the examples that we know that were successful in the past 10 or 20 years in the Amazon, every entrepreneurship in that were successful were those with a very strong community basis, an arrangement of investors and partners committed to the mid and long term as well, and to face the structural bottlenecks that I mentioned before that are really challenging. It also means investing in infrastructure. Bioeconomy has to be based on local development, local and national consumers. It's a huge consumer base. We should not plan for a system that is focused on exports only. We need sanitary regulations. We need to strengthen this economy. And finally, I would like to say that the bioeconomy must value traditional knowledge that dialogues with the cutting edge science. Those two together, a bioeconomy that is based on knowledge. Finally, I must mention the importance of investing in the youth. In our work, we see that for a bioeconomy to allow the people of the Amazon to be the protagonists, we must start investing now in the youth, in formal and informal capacity building, generating jobs and income. And finally, women's entrepreneurship, so that they can take the lead in managing community projects and business projects. Those were my remarks. That's the contribution that I wanted to bring to the discussion as a researcher. Well, in the very end, the connection didn't work. Anyways, Anna, thank you so much for your very sensible comments. And I would like to say, and actually this also answers a question that was sent through the internet. We understand that bioeconomy, a strategy of bioeconomy, must bring social and environmental justice. We have over 20 million of people that must be looked at, cared for with sustainable source of income so that they do not fall into temptation of mining, deforestation, and other activities that degrade the Amazon, or else our strategy will not be successful. We have our eyes turned to both social and environmental justice. Thank you, everyone. We will now have some time for questions and answers, and I will start. If you would like to send questions, there's a chat field in the right lower corner of your screen. You can send your questions. A question that we have received for Anatoni. The question is bioeconomy a new name for green economy of neoliberal inspiration, or is it more focused on environmental issues? Thank you for the question. I think there's something new. I believe bioeconomy is a concept in transformation, and the bioeconomy is under creation. I don't think it's just a new name, a new appearance to green economy. I think the focus on respecting traditional knowledge, the protagonism of the people from the Amazon, etc. This is new, this is different, but it will depend on each and every one of us to monitor everything. And in some cases, it will also depend on us to report issues. Again, we here in Brazil have not been considering for a long time solutions that bring sustainability for the local peoples. This is something that it's time we face. Bioeconomy can be a very important solution, one of the solutions from this big box of possible solutions. But that has to come together with education, health, infrastructure, etc. If you allow me a chance to add one thing, this forum will happen in October, and right after that there will be COP26 and then the Biodiversity Convention. We will have a chance to get these pillars of respect to the land, the people, focusing on social justice, etc. But we have to bring this to the other forums also. Because carbon emission or a forest that's standing is part of what we have in mind, but there's more, and this is something that we have to discuss internationally. Bioeconomy is a very complex theme, but I'm sure the forum will be a great opportunity to discuss it. Thank you, Anna. Camille, there's a question for you from Kristen Patema. the bioeconomy strategy and the environment state plans for the state of Pará. What do you have to tell us? When will it be launched? Well, it will be launched by the governor of Pará. As I said, it is still a concept, and there's a conceptual and technical document that will lead to the drafting of the state plan, which will be more detailed. And I would like to emphasize the following. When we talk about launching a strategy or a plan, it is more than delivering something that's written on paper. It is important that it means delivering something that has elements that go way beyond bioeconomy. It should determine other elements that will also be important so that together we can reach the mission. We see bioeconomy as a process and not a moment of delivery, because as the members of the panel have said, that includes logistics, education. There's lots of elements that will allow for this strategy to be effectively successful and transformative. Thank you, Camille. Now, two questions to myself. José Moacir asks my opinion about the production of food in the future of the world and the bioeconomy. FAO says that there will be a need to increase food production by 70% by the year 2050 to feed the world. So I believe all the countries, not only us here with the Amazon, every country with tropical forests that still have some climate balance, because of this pressing need of food production, we will have both a very challenging role, but also the opportunity to leverage our food production capacity. But as Anna said, we have issues with logistics, market, because you see, today it's a lot easier for you to buy some Nutella at a grocery store in the state of Pará than a local product from the Amazon. So we need this logistics, this market infrastructure, so that the products are available nationally and internationally. We try to start by encouraging production for export, and that's why we have a program called Feet on the Ground Bioeconomy, with high capacity for exports, so that we can add value to these products. So there is a challenge, but there is an opportunity also. Products from the forest to become medication, drugs, and foods. And one more question is, what is the importance of the Environment and Sustainability Secretariat of Pará in the national scenario in terms of protecting Brazilian ecosystems? The state of Pará is a laboratory of challenges. Our governor says that if we solve the environmental crisis in the state of Pará, we will be able to solve that throughout the whole Amazon, because the state of Pará has this characteristics of having several diverse economic activities. We have crops, we have mining, we have energy production projects. We have all these activities that are always threatening the 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 forest, and we must work to improve the lives of our people. And we need the people to understand that they have to interact with the forest because that forest is important for their quality of life. And this is why we very humbly say that we here at the forum, we want to debate and discuss what it is that we want. Is Francisco still with us? There's a question to Francisco. What is your vision of the future of the Amazon? The Amazon today, with science, technology, knowledge, we have clarity. We strongly believe that the Amazon can survive by its own means and still help the planet a lot. That will depend on our ability. Our ability to solve our problems. We don't need people from the outside to solve our problems. The way we understand our society, the Amazon can stand on its feet and still offer its products to the world. We do not need donations to survive. The Amazon is bigger than that. The Amazon has several different roles. To us, the Amazon means life. It is the basis. We just can't live without it. It is very complete, very thorough to us. And I believe we can share some of what we have with the world. And now we must learn how to do that. There's some habits that must be changed also. Many people try to import a lifestyle that just does not apply to our reality. It it interferes with the environment, and we have our life experience. We have local processes. Our community depends a lot on the outside because it was believed that what came from the outside, because it was unknown, then it became a problem. Foods, for example, what the secretary said, to, what we see in the grocery stores are all products that come from the south of the country, things that we could be producing here. And that's because we live as if we had to depend on this culture that in in the days of colonization, there was this model of bringing an outside style and just disregarding ours. So it depends on each of us. I believe there's a lot of people who are aware of that now, that the Amazon um, does not need donations, does not need charity. we must dialogue with other parts of the world that indeed need the Amazon. And we can do it. We just have to go deep in the commitment that the Amazon should not be isolated, it must be integrated. It just can't be it just can't be just a brand in a product just for a marketing appeal. The Amazon should be in charge of its own business. That's what I believe in. That's what I stand for. If this forum happens with this perspective, not worried about luring others, just like cosmetics companies that use the word Amazon just as a marketing appeal. This is what we want to avoid. Beautiful words, Francisco. Beautiful words. Thank you very much for your very intelligent remarks and for the sensitivity that you have, the one that comes from someone who experiences the forest. Anna Euler, the first step for the development of the Amazon, if you could choose, what would it be? Well, after 20 years, I would say the following. I believe that mid to long-term perspective, education, investment in education, investing in knowledge, and I say that after listening so much to the communities, the peoples that I work closely with. Over 20 years ago, I was in the university, and now I am one of the most experienced researchers in the Amazon. In the 90s, the priority was protecting the territory, protecting the land, the titles, the Indian reserves, and I'm not going to say that this is over, but we have advanced a lot in that sense. And today, when we are in contact with the communities, it is so interesting to hear the elders and how they strongly believe that the Amazon now can change the paradigm and no longer be supplier of raw materials with no added value, and now working with technology, with blockchain mapping our needs, and but with technology that is generated here, not with models that are imposed from the outside, just by multiplying what we already have and by making it stronger by means of education and scientific training for those who are here. I agree with Chief Pianco. We do not need charity, but we do need an alliance of the peoples of the forest. There's scientists all over the world. There's so many governments. And to wrap up my speech, I believe that what's different now in terms of bioeconomy, what's different from 30 years ago in terms of how development was seen is that now we have political leaders that are willing to put that into practice. But again, to me, education is number one. Thank you, Anna. We're getting to the end of our roundtable. I am very happy with the level of the debate, and I believe this will be a very, very fruitful forum considering the level of the discussions today. We have a lot to offer to the Amazon, to the world. Thank you all very much for those who participated and accepted our invitation. I would like to thank Francisco Pianco, Anna Euler, Anna Toni, and Camille Bemergui. Looking forward to seeing you in the forum. And for all of those who are at home watching us, 20 to 22nd of October in the city of Pará. If you cannot be there in person, we will be in the social medias, we will be online, and we will be working hard for this purpose, for the World Bioeconomy Forum. I will now give the floor to Mark to wrap up our event. Thank you very much. See you soon. See you in Belém.
Hi there. All I can say is that was absolutely amazing, diverse, interesting, deep, absolutely fascinating, and that is absolutely, as we said at the beginning in the introduction, what an appetizer for the forum in Belém. As a journalist myself, I have a lot of questions to ask, and I can't wait to actually be able to sit face to face with people and actually answer those questions. So I'm going to finish now. I'm going to actually hand over to Jukka, and I think that Jukka and Maro are going to make some conclusions. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much to the panelists who are really mind-boggling. I mean, there is so much complexity involved. We hear about it from the outside. We hear about the Amazon. But when you start really looking at the issues, it's absolutely, really, really incredible. So I'd like to now hand over to Jukka and to Maro for the conclusion. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Mark, and thanks, Secretary Mauro. So this is the most challenging part. I need to then conclude on behalf of you all that, I must say that, I'm very fascinating about what did I heard today, what did I hear today, and and I think, it requires some digestion of these all that, maybe I can then point out certain things that, what was mentioned in today's debate and in today's the panel. So I really like this idea to Amazon now. It is really embracing us that and it is now very much high on agenda of the state of the Pará, as mentioned by the Secretary Mauro and as mentioned by Camille. And I also very much like about the concept. There is no really, as we are also saying within the World Bioeconomy Forum, that there is no one-fit-all bioeconomy. Always there are the bioeconomies which are standing on their own feet. And I like the impression of what Camille said, that there's no even one Amazon. Let's bear that in mind, that there's no one-fit-all Amazon. There is the various different, let's say, the complexity of the Amazon, as was very much described by Anna Toni about this. And what's then the notion and what is the importance of the Amazon? It's not only the people who are living in the Amazon, it's Brazil, it's for the entire world. And I liked it, that was mentioned very much by Francisco, that if there is a global concern, we should do that, then that moving along together. And that is also one of our principles within the forum. We are not going to go and teach that how the things should be then done. Instead, we are going there to learn together, And actually, this is a continuous process that that we started this journey together with the state of the Pará already in the end of last year. We are prepared to the program and what topics we will be then discussed within the forum against these 4 pillars that the bioeconomy, people, planet, policies, and then looking first all these 4 pillars will be then covered, and it is very versatile that how we are then evaluating, so that this is only the sort of, let's say, the final conclusions which will be then told out during the forum, and that will be then done via declaration that we are preparing, that journey already started in the beginning of this year, and very much also like this what Anatoli mentioned, that this is a continuous process. We are learning step by step, and also we have a role in this global, let's say, scheme that that there will be a COP26 only a couple of weeks after our forum in Belém, and I think that it's our responsibility to convey the message that from the World Bioeconomy Forum, that what is our response on this all, and not only that the COP26 and the beginning of the next year there will be at the biodiversity conference, and also we are taking these aspects that very much into account. And thanks also to certainly Anna Euler about this, that reminding us then the scale of this all, that what does this Amazon stand for. So I think we learn a lot, and it requires some digestion that you are already having Brazil and lunchtime, we are having a dinner time, and people in Asia are always maybe sleeping at about the waking up. But don't worry, this all is recorded, and you can then get back to this program and this recording, and we are always open to your further questions, and you can always challenge us. So we are open for the dialogue. So we are then taking into account it, like the Francisco mentioned. So that is this is the balancing between the different drivers. What is then accountable within the bioeconomy. So with these words, again, I would like to thank Secretary Mauro for this great moderation of this panel, and thanks for the state of the para that we will have then the next forum in Belém, and as it was said by the panelists, it's one of the most beautiful cities in Brazil, and what a cuisine. So if you are able to come, please join, but if not, you can then follow us, as said, by Secretary Mauro through this online broadcast. So actually that was all what I was about to say. So wish you see or hearing you in Belém, so até logo Belém, and thank you and obrigado. See you soon.